Warming up in the middle voice. Now, depending on whether you're a low voice or a tenor, assuming we're just dealing with the male voice right now, the lower voice would start on A below middle C. And then usually just warm up. Then try the E. E is a good vowel because it adducts, it closes properly. E, and always legato. E, e, then you come into the higher voice range. This is where the tenor would start about C. Now, when I talk about middle voice, that does not mean you don't have lower notes below that or higher notes, obviously. It's the middle part of the voice you want to warm up and energize. So if you are a tenor and you start in the morning and you don't wish to start on a high B or a high C right away, which you shouldn't anyway, maybe start C, C sharp, and then now for all these exercises, whether you take them down from here or here, you breathe, you expand the intercostals. They go out, the back muscles expand. And you have this buoyancy, this feeling of you breathe in and you can sing on that breath by releasing a minimal amount. You don't expel everything by going, then you've harmed yourself and the breath is gone. So breathe in, never tank up by going, then you're stuck already. So if you start here, see, I feel this bouncing idea of the breath on the diaphragm. And as I sing E, the mouth is formed as if in a or U position, but the tongue goes up against the upper molars. So otherwise, if you don't, you get this Z. In the middle range, you can keep a fairly neutral mouth position. You go Z. The danger with that is that your larynx will rise. Z. You want it low, but not forced down. There we go. Where are we? Now you're ready, starting into the tenor passagio. You take it up a semitone every time, but you don't change the position of the mouth here, and you keep the buoyancy of the breath. which is about, you may want to go up to an A flat. This was G. And then you go back down again. Z, Z. I mean, the exercises are not carved in stone, so you have to make them work for you. I usually take the example of C, E, D, F, C, E, D, F, and if you start on A, C, excuse me, A, C sharp, thirds. So if we're back here, Z, another one that you can practice for the middle voice is sustained just on one note. For example, you start with Z. If you have problems with a too wide a tremolo in the middle range and you've not worked your breath properly to sustain it without that happening, try and use a Z and go Z. So Z, O, Z, O, O, in one sustained tone. Z, Z, and the minute you do the Z, you feel your abdominal muscles tug inwards and intercostals expand. Ha! Z, You go up to scale. I wouldn't, for a tenor, I would not go higher than G and A flat in warming up. That's fine. G, A flat, if you take it up until that, those notes, then that's fine. For the baritone, the bass baritone, go from A flat until E natural, so you feel comfortable. The minute you start feeling strained, don't stop. Something's wrong. And it's usually because you've switched gears. One thing that we talked about, but not enough, is the turn of the voice, the girare. It happens in different places. The passagio. For the bass, it'll happen on B flat. If you go Z, O, O, it's not an out and out cover, it's just a tilt of the larynx, tilting of the larynx. And this happens in the higher voice on the, it starts actually already D, E, F. There you set the whole thing up for when you actually come into the passagio area, F, F sharp. So, first one, difficult for a low voice to demonstrate that very clean, but this is the idea. There you do the, from E, if you go from the E to F sharp, it's an sound. So the tilt, From there on, you've set everything up properly so you can continue on. If you haven't done the turn in the voice, you're going to spread wider and wider. And this is also very important for the low voice when you start, let's just say, here an A. So there's a slight oh, ooh, oh, ooh. For the baritone bass. That's the turn which has to be done in order to continue, and also to be able to sing the final high notes without too much anxiety, as most of the high notes for the bass baritone lie on E or F. And to build that up, the voice has to be on the breath. You have to have the turn in the voice at the proper space. So low voice, high voice, warm up the middle voice first. I hope this helps. Comment if you like.